Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're okay this morning. This is our second to last Saturday morning session. Today we're going to be focusing on the lower body, so stretching out and strengthening those legs, ankles and feet. Obviously our foundation, so we need to make sure that we look after the lower body, and in turn that will look after our upper body as well, our hips, our spine, our neck. Hiya Alice, thanks for joining me. So if you have got a yoga strap or a belt or a scarf or something handy, I'm going to be using one of those at a few points during the class, but it's not necessary, it's not essential. You don't need to have one to be able to do the class. So when you're ready, let's get started. We're going to begin seated today, so get yourself on the mat. So you can begin in any comfortable seated position, so you could be kneeling up or you could be cross-legged. So just see what feels comfortable for you. And just allow yourself to find that stillness. So find a pose that you can be still in for a couple of minutes as we begin our session this morning. Sitting up nice and tall and straight, lifting up through the crown of your head. And then relaxing your arms down, resting your hands either on your knees or in your lap, wherever feels comfortable. And then allow your eyes to close or just soften your gaze, look down to the floor. And begin to focus in on your breath. Breathing naturally, becoming aware of the breath. And then beginning to take control of that breath. Breathing in and out through your nose if you can. Every time you breathe in, draw that breath deep down into your belly. Lovely deep belly breathing. And every time you breathe out, feel the shoulders soften and relax. Feel a sense of just letting go. Taking a moment now to check in with yourself. See how you're feeling today. Scanning through the body, picking out any areas of tension or tightness, anything that you want to be aware of, that you want to work on, getting rid of. Bringing that awareness into the body. And then moving your awareness into your mind, scanning and seeing how you're feeling in your mind this morning. Noticing if it's busy, if it's loud, if there are any thoughts or feelings there that are not serving you purpose right now. And take a moment to allow that mind to slow down. Turn the volume down a little bit if it all seems a bit loud in there. And begin to allow those negative thoughts and feelings to just float away. Releasing a few more with every out breath. And the same goes for any tightness or tension anywhere in your body. With every exhale, feel that tension dissolving away. Now, if you want to join me, we're going to move into a particular type of breath called the Ujjayi breath. It's a calming breath. It's a breath that naturally filters and slows down. And it's also when you breathe out, it kind of makes the sound of the ocean. So some people call it the ocean breath. So in order to do the Ujjayi breath, we have to partially close off the back of our throat so that our exhale makes that sort of hissing, that sort of rasping sound. So a good way to know that you're doing it right is to first of all breathe as if you are trying to fog up a window or a mirror, so with your mouth open. So it's an inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, see if you can fog up that mirror. And notice what you're doing to make that noise is you're partially closing off the back of your throat. It's just filtering and slowing that breath down. So do it just like that one more time. So inhale through your nose and exhale. Lovely. Now next time we do that, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but as you exhale, I'd like you to keep your mouth closed, but you're doing exactly the same thing. So see how it feels. Deep breath in through the nose and exhale. So it's an audible exhale. You feel that sound in your ears, but the mouth is closed, and it naturally slows that out breath down. So we'll do a few more of those, and then if it feels comfortable for you, you can continue with that breath throughout the class. So in through the nose and out through the nose. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. And then if you want to open your eyes, you can now. We're just going to take our right ear down to our right shoulder and have a little stretch out all the way down the left side of the neck. So gently hold it there, feeling that lengthening from ear to shoulder. And if you want to make this into a bigger stretch, you just need to gently drop the left hand down to the floor, and that will draw the shoulder down away from the ear a little bit further. And then bring the hand back up if you've dropped it down to the floor and the head. And gently tilt the head the other way, left ear to left shoulder this time. Take a moment to see how it feels. Don't worry if it feels quite differently on one side to the other. And then the option is there to drop that right hand down to the floor if you wish. So just breathe slowly and deeply. Feel that lengthening down the side of the neck. And then carefully bring the hand back up and the head. Dropping your chin to your chest now. And then as you take a deep breath in, take the gaze all the way up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Exhale to bring it all the way back down. And again, inhale, looking up. So just keep doing this. Move with the breath. Take it as slow as you possibly can. Feeling that lovely stretch moving from the front to the back of the neck. And then when you're ready, just bring the gaze back up to center, lifting up through the crown of the head now. So nice and tall through that spine. So I'm going to use my strap here, but don't worry if you don't have anything like this to hand, you don't have to. I'm just taking my legs out in front. Just shuffle back a little bit just so you can just about see my feet. So if this feels really uncomfortable on your hips or really tight on your hamstrings, you can sit yourself on a block or a cushion or a pillow to raise those hips up, and it will make it feel a little bit more comfortable. But I'm just getting used to this sensation of lengthening and stretching out the hamstrings and just seeing how my legs are feeling today. So by bringing the hands down to the floor beside you and just gently resting the weight into those hands, we can bring the feet together and draw the toes up, draw them back towards you and kick through your heels. And this is staff pose. And it's a very strong pose if you really put the effort into it. So you're lifting up through the crown of your head, really straight and tall through that upper body. And you're kicking through those heels, flexing those feet. And you should almost feel those heels lifting up away from the floor as all of the muscles in those legs tense and strengthen up. So just relax a little bit, keep those legs in front but nice and soft. So we can use our strap in this pose just by hooking it around the bottom of both feet. And just gently hold on to that strap. And what we're doing here is we're just drawing those feet back, but kicking through the heels. So it's helping in the flexing of those feet. Now you can do this without a strap. If you can reach and take hold of your toes yourself, it's exactly the same thing. Or you can just do it without, just lifting those feet up and keeping the upper body sitting up nice and tall. So we're going to hold this for a few breaths, beginning to get that stretch down the back of those legs. But remember to keep that integrity in your spine. I want you to be sitting really tall and straight here. So don't be tempted to start to round through your back. Keep those shoulders back, that nice straight back. And you're just using the strength in your arms. Depending on how long your belt or your strap is, you might want to bring those elbows in towards your sides. And then you're just using your forearms there to pull. So holding it for another 2 breaths. Feeling that nice stretch there down the back of the legs. And then carefully release. Pop that strap to one side. Okay, so going to take the legs wider now. So take them out just to wherever is comfortable for you. And again, remember lifting those sit bones up. Sitting on a block or a pillow or a cushion will make this feel a little bit more comfy on the hips and on the hamstrings as well. So we're getting that stretch down the back of the legs. We're also opening into our hips now. So just resting your hands wherever's comfortable. It might be on the legs or it might be on the floor in front of you. We're going to gently begin to wiggle from side to side, and as we do so, we're going to ease ourselves forward into a gentle forward fold. So as you start to bring that upper body forward, you will feel that pinch in the hips. Now if we're moving from side to side, you're probably going to feel that pinch alternating sides, and that makes it just a little bit easier. But you might find that actually you just want to come straight forward and find the stillness. So whatever works for you. Now if it feels really intense down the back of the legs, just soften those knees. Take a little micro bend in the knees and keep the feet soft. But if you want this to be a stronger stretch, you want to have those legs nice and straight. Imagine you're pushing down the underneath of those knees into the floor, and you're flexing your feet, drawing those toes up. And that is the strongest stretch that you can get here. And then come forward to wherever you can. So keep breathing now. Maybe come to that Ujjayi breath once again. Making that hissing sound in your ears as you exhale. And use that breath to focus on. So if you're feeling any discomfort, if you're feeling that stretch down those legs and in those hips, come back to that breath. Breathe through that deep stretch. And remind your shoulders to relax. They may have crept up towards your ears right now, so just soften and relax them down. Relax your jaw as well. Sometimes your jaw can tense up if we're doing something like this. So upper body should be nice and soft and relaxed. And then carefully start to walk your hands back in. Help yourself to sit up nice and tall once again. Keeping that right leg out, we're going to bend the left leg in. So bring it in nice and close towards you. And then just pivot the upper body so that you're turning to face the straight leg. We're going to use our strap again if you've got one. Don't worry if you haven't, you don't need it. But we're going to do our staff pose stretch, but with one leg. So we've got the left leg bent in, and it's just the right leg that we're focusing on now. So if you've got a strap or a belt, hook it round the sole of the foot. If not, maybe you can reach those toes, or maybe you can just bring the fingertips down to the floor either side of that leg. There's lots of different ways we can do this stretch. So if you have got a strap, your goal is to kind of keep sitting up nice and tall here, lengthening up through the crown of your head, and just using the strength in your arms to draw that foot towards you. Kick through the heel Draw the toes towards you and really feel that leg straightening, lengthening out. If you haven't got a strap and you've got your fingertips on the floor, then you still want to keep that length through the spine, lifting up through the crown of your head. If you're holding on to your toes, then obviously you're going to be a little bit forward. But again, you want that same sensation of kicking forward through the heel, drawing back through the toes, stretching out that hamstring. So we'll give it a few breaths here. And you might want to come a little bit forward, so hinging forward from the hips into a bit of a forward fold if that feels nice on your back or your hips. But if it doesn't, just keep sitting nice and upright. And then we'll release. Sit back up nice and tall. This time turning your upper body so that you're facing forward once again. We're going to just rest the right hand on the leg. Now, inhale to float the left arm up. Exhale, coming over into a side stretch and allow that hand just to slide down the leg. Now, maybe you can reach and hold on to your toes. Don't worry if you can't. Maybe you might want to rest your elbow down on your leg. So whatever feels nice for you, but you want to get this lovely big stretch all the way down the left side of your body. Keep drawing that top shoulder back. Don't be tempted to fall forward and try and reach towards that foot. We want to keep that lovely rotation there in the body. Inhale to come back up. Swapping the legs over now. Bring that right foot in. Take the left one out and pivot the upper body so that we're facing that left leg. And once again, we'll start with our hamstring stretch, either using the strap, holding onto the foot, or just resting those fingertips down on the mat either side of the leg. So beginning by sitting up as straight as you can, lengthen that spine. Breathing deeply as you lift up and lengthen and feel that stretch down the back of the leg. Remind the shoulders to relax. And after a few breaths, you might want to come into a gentle forward fold, so folding over that straight leg. Giving those hamstrings a little bit of time to lengthen. And then carefully release. Sit yourself up nice and tall once again. Turn that upper body so that you're facing the centre. Resting the hand on the straight leg. Let's inhale, float the right arm up. Exhale over into that lovely side stretch. Bringing the other hand to wherever it will go. And just lengthening down the right side of the body. Inhale to come back up. Right, coming now just for a moment to kneel up. So if kneeling is not that comfortable for you, don't worry, we're not going to stay in this pose for too long, but if it really is uncomfortable, just sit out this next pose. We're going to do a couple of stretches into the feet, make sure that all of the muscles in the feet are getting that nice stretch as well as the legs. So we start off by rocking the weight forward. Just bring your hands to the floor so you can tuck those toes under and then sit back onto the heels. Okay, so think about spreading those toes nice and wide beneath you and sit that weight back. Now this might feel excruciating in the soles of your feet, or it might not feel too bad. Everybody has very, very different tone in the arches of their feet. This stretch is basically lifting all of the arches in your feet, so it's a really, really good stretch to do, but it can feel quite uncomfortable. So if it does, maybe you can just keep coming out for a moment and then coming back in, aiming to hold it for maybe a minute if you can, but keep taking little breaks, and if it's just too much, then bring yourself out whenever you can. Okay, let's flatten those feet underneath us once again. Sit back onto those heels, and we'll take the stretch into the front of the foot. So this time hands come behind you. Lean back into those hands and just see if you can lift those knees up away from the floor. And this time you should feel that stretch down the front of the foot. So very different stretch here, very different sensation. But we are just stretching the front rather than the underneath of the foot. So take a moment just to breathe through it. Remember, you can release and come out of it for a second and then come back in. Again, aiming to hold it for about a minute if you can. Really important to do these stretches maybe once a week or so, just to keep those feet nice and healthy. Your feet, it's so important that we look after them because they can have a knock-on effect the whole of the way up your body. So if you have an imbalance in your muscle tone within your feet, within the soles of your feet, for example, that can cause your feet to roll in or outwards. It can affect your stance, your posture, which can then lead to problems with your knees, with your hips, with your back, even with your neck. So take the time to look after those feet. Make sure that you give them a nice old stretch every now and then. So you might just want to come back onto those hands and just give the feet a little kick out, a little bit of a wiggle. Just shake them out. Lovely. Bring yourself into a tabletop position now. So coming onto those hands and knees. Remembering to give yourself that bit of extra padding under the knees or the wrists if you feel like you need it. We'll do a few cat-cows to mobilise and warm up the spine. So as you breathe in, tilt the tailbone up, drop the belly down, lift the gaze. And as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone under, arch up through the back, drop the head down. Lovely. Keep going, moving between those two. Go with your own breath. And just take it to wherever feels all right for you. And just do one more of each of those for me. And then come back to that nice neutral flat back position once again. Taking our left leg out behind, straighten that leg, but keep those toes touching the floor. And then gently push back into that heel, hold for a couple of seconds, and then ease out. And again, push back, and ease out. Stretching out that hamstring. Gently moving in and out of the stretch now to suit you. So you might want to hold it for a bit longer. You might want to keep it moving. Just remind the neck and the shoulders to relax here. And really focus on that lovely stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Okay, going to cross that leg over now. So we're just going to bring it over to the other side of the mat. So on the other side of the right leg. And then turn to look back over your right shoulder and look back. See if you can see that foot. And this will encourage a nice stretch all the way down the left side of your body. bring it back to the center, keeping that leg where it is. This time we're going to pivot to drop the foot down to the floor. Take that right foot a little bit out behind you. Excuse me. And then see if you can bring all of your weight into that right hand. Now if it feels too wobbly, then keep the left hand down as well. But if you can, let's take that left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Reaching up and lengthening, either keeping the gaze down at the floor if that feels better, or looking up at that top hand. And you might want to bring the stretch a little bit further down the side by reaching that arm behind your head, feeling a big stretch from the foot to the fingertips. And then when you're ready, bringing that arm back up. And if you can, push off from your right hand, coming up onto that knee. Resting the left hand down on the straight leg. Let's float the right arm up and gently come into a very small side stretch here. Really thinking more about lifting up and lengthening rather than coming all the way across. And exhale to bring the arm all the way back down to the floor, bringing the other hand down as well. And then pivot those feet so that they face forward once again, and you can bring that knee back in. Lovely. Give the hips a little wiggle from side to side before we move to the opposite side. And then when you're ready, let's take the right leg back this time. Beginning with that hamstring stretch. So just pushing for a few seconds and then releasing. Seeing how it feels. Great thing about this is you're in control. You can just push as much or as little as you want to into that stretch. And then we're just going to take that foot across the mat, so taking it to the other side and turning to look back over the left shoulder, looking towards that foot, getting that lovely stretch down the right side body this time. Bringing it back to center. Okay, pivot that foot now so you can drop the heel down to the floor. And then gently turn that left foot out behind you as well. Adjusting yourself, bringing the weight into that left hand. And then if you can, we lift the right arm up towards the ceiling, looking wherever feels comfortable for you. But really reach and lengthen. And then for that extra stretch, take the arm behind the head. Feel that big stretch all the way down the right side of your body. Bring it back up, and if you can, push up into a high kneel. Drop the hand onto the leg and float the left arm up and over. Gentle side stretch. This is called gate pose. Bring the hand back down and the opposite hand. Both knees in. Give the hips a wiggle. Lovely. Okay, so we're just going to come up to standing now. So we're going to sit back to the heels, push yourself up onto those feet, and then carefully and slowly bring yourself up. Let me just grab a drink for my croaky voice. So we're going to do a little standing sequence now, just strengthening and warming up. So starting with our modified sun salutation, And then we'll move into a warrior flow. So the warrior poses are really good for the lower body, very strong on those legs. So move now to the top of your mat. Make sure you've got some space behind you. Feet hip width apart, toes facing forward. Now we want these legs to feel strong, but we don't want the knees to be locked out. So we don't want the knees to be going right back. Keep them soft, but you want to feel that strength in the legs, that you're sort of lifting up into the arches of the feet, all the way up to those hips. Roll your shoulders back and down, lift up from the crown of your head. And when you're ready, inhale, float your arms up and over your head. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips, keep the knees soft as you come forward with a flat back into that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, hands rest somewhere on the legs. Exhale, fold forward again. Bring those hands all the way down to the mat. Big step forward with step back, with the right foot, and a big step back with the left. And then I'm going to come all the way down onto my knees immediately. Feel free to lower all the way onto your tummy if you want to do the full version of the sun salutation. As you inhale, coming into that cow tilt, so lift the tailbone and lift the head. Nice little back stretch there. And then on the exhale, we're going to tuck the toes under. Lift those hips high into downward dog. Pausing here for a moment, just to focus on stretching out those legs. So keeping the knees soft at first, and then maybe just drawing one heel down towards the mat, and then alternate and draw the other heel down. So padding out those feet, bending the knees one at a time, stretching into those hamstrings. Now look forward in between your hands, and when you're ready, take a big step forward with the left foot, placing it in between the hands, and then take a big step forward with the right, back in that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward again. Inhale to come all the way up, reaching those arms up and over your head. Palms together and down. Straight into the other side now. Inhale, take the arms back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come all the way down. Big step back with the right foot this time. Then with the left, dropping down to the knees or lowering all the way onto your tummy. And then that little back bend. So dropping the belly down, lifting the chest and shoulders up. Exhale to tuck your toes under and take those hips high and back. Pausing again for a few breaths to focus on stretching out those hamstrings, bending one knee then the other. Gently drawing those heels towards the mat. And then looking forward in between the hands, take a big step forward with the right foot. And then with the left, exhale into that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward again. And inhale to come all the way up, hands up above your head. Palms together and down. Lovely. Okay, so feeling a little bit more warmed up now. Let's begin to move into our warrior flow. So make sure you're at the top of the mat once again, that your feet are hip width apart and toes facing forward. Bring the hands together in front of your chest, standing tall. Take a deep breath in and out here just to center yourself, to bring that focus. And then we're going to take a big step back with the left foot first. So take a really big step back. And then adjust those feet if you need to shuffle them wider apart so that you feel more steady, you can do. Keeping that back foot facing forward with the heel lifted. Bend your front knee over your ankle into our warrior one. Now, if it feels okay to lift those arms up and over your head, we'll take them up on the inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to do some little circles with our wrists as we come gently waterfalling down. And again, inhale to take the arms up. Exhale, circle those wrists. And one last time. Keeping those legs nice and strong as we do this. So keep those hips sinking low. Lovely. Okay. Pivoting the back foot now, so turning it to face side on and taking a moment to align those feet. Back leg is still nice and straight. We're pushing down into the outside edge of that foot. Front knee is still bent over the ankle. Gently work on turning those hips to face side on. So bring them round as far as they will comfortably go. And then inhale to bring the arms up at shoulder height. Looking forward over that right hand into warrior two. Holding it here for a couple of breaths. Think about really channeling that strength of our warrior pose into those legs. Holding them nice and strong. And then relax the arms down. Turn the right foot now to face forward, or face to the side, I guess, whichever way you're now facing, so that both feet are facing forward and the legs are wide. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale to stand up tall, lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale to hinge forward into that nice wide-legged forward fold, coming down to hip height and then dropping the arms down, either bringing the hands to the floor or resting those hands somewhere on your legs, or just let them dangle. Lovely. Hold it for a couple of breaths here, feeling that stretch into the legs, into the hips. And then slowly roll yourself back up, so curling that spine up. I'm going to shuffle the feet a little bit closer in. Turn the toes out to 45 degrees, and this time coming to sit down into our goddess squat. So try to keep those knees facing outwards as much as you can in the same direction as the toes, and start to bend those knees as we sink the hips low. Lovely. Let's inhale, take our arms up. And exhale, bend those elbows, bringing those arms into that cactus shape. Lovely. And again, reach the arms up high, keeping the legs nice and still. Bend those elbows. Once more, reaching up. Arms come down. And then bring them to rest on the legs as we slowly take the hips up once more. Perfect. Let's continue our flow as we move to the other side now. So this time the left foot is going to turn to face the back of the room. The right foot is going to be facing side on. So take a moment to adjust that position so that those legs are straight in a line with each other. Bending that what is now the front knee. So the left knee comes over the ankle. And take your arms up to shoulder height and look forward over the left hand this time. Back into our warrior two. Keep those hips turning as far to the side as they can and keep them sinking low. Switch on those leg muscles. Keep them strong. Taking a couple more breaths here. Channeling that warrior. Lovely. Drop the arms down. This is the tricky bit. So we're going to pivot the right foot so that it faces the same direction as the left. So both feet will be facing towards the back now. Shuffle the feet a bit wider apart so that you don't feel quite as wobbly. And then keep that left knee bent forward over the ankle. Straighten that back leg, nice and strong. Hips are facing the back of the room now. Back into our warrior one. Now, if it feels okay to take the arms up, we'll inhale and float them up and over the head. And exhale, do those little circles with the wrists. Waterfall down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. And one last time, reaching up, floating down. And then when you're ready, take a big step forward to the back of the mat. And you're done. Well done. Give those arms and legs a shake out. Right, we're going to do a little balance now. So seeing as how we are focusing on the legs, obviously any balancing pose is really good for the lower body. It's working into those muscles in the feet. It's working those leg muscles. But we're going to do one that also involves a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So if you've got a strap, you can join me in this. If you're particularly flexible, you can do it without a strap and holding onto your toe. Or if not, there's a modified version. So don't worry, whatever you want to do today, we'll give that a go. So if you have got a strap or a belt, just keep hold of it in one hand for now. So bring those feet to hip width apart. Take a moment just to get that sense of balance, that sense of grounding down into the earth. And then we're going to begin by taking all of our weight into our right foot. Slowly start to lift up the left heel. And the first step is to just bring that knee up in front of you. See how that feels. Maybe do some circles with the ankle. Keep that focus. Find that little spot that you're going to stare at that's nice and still. Circle the foot the other way. And then we're going to take the opposite arm out to the side as a little bit of a counterbalance. And see if we can open that knee out to the side. Opening the hip. Keep that balance. See how it feels. And then bring the knee back to the front. Lower back down. Lovely. Okay, let's see how the other side feels. So when you're ready, start to put the weight down into the left foot, lifting up the right heel, and then lift that right knee up. Taking a moment just to see what that balance is like, and maybe doing some circles with the ankle in both directions. Take the opposite arm out and see if you can open the knee out to the side. Standing tall. Very good. Okay, so now we can bring in our hamstring stretch. So the full variation of this pose is called hand to big toe pose, because you ideally should be holding onto your big toe, taking that leg out in front and out to the side. Now, I understand that the majority of us are going to struggle a little bit with that, so that's where your strap can come in quite handy. So if you don't have a strap, we can stick with keeping the knee bent and out to the side. But if you do, what you can do is hook it underneath the sole of the foot. Stand yourself up nice and tall. Lift that knee in front of you and then start to straighten the leg out in front. So you're really resting the weight of that leg into the strap. So a lot of weight going into the arms here. And you should feel a big stretch down the back of the leg. But you're also getting that balance as well. Now if that feels okay, you can take the strap just into the left hand, so the same hand as the leg. Take the opposite arm out to the side. Let's see if we can open that leg out to the side. Keep breathing, even if you can't keep your balance. And then carefully bring it back in and release. Okay, so let's try on the other side now. So hooking that strap underneath the right foot this time. Come to stand up tall, lifting the knee up. And straighten the leg out in front of you, holding it here for a little bit to get that lovely stretch. Noticing how differently it feels on this side to the other. And then if you want, you can take that strap just into that right hand, left hand out to the side. Open out that hip. Lovely big stretch, lovely balance. And then bring it back in. So well done, whatever variation of that you attempted today. So we're going to come down to lie on the mat now, just for our last 10-15 minutes. Starting to do some more passive hamstring stretches. So keep hold of that strap and bring yourself down to lie on your back. So lower gently down. And then if it feels okay to do so, straighten out those legs. Float your arms up and over your head and take a big full body stretch. So kicking through the heels, lengthening through that whole body. Breathing deeply, enjoying that big stretch. And exhale to bring your arms back down by your sides. And we're going to bend the knees once again. So bring those feet in towards you. Right, let's begin to do a few nice hamstring stretches. So we're going to start by taking our left knee. Just draw it up and in towards your chest. Now, if you don't have a strap, we're going to just take the leg up towards the ceiling and hold on somewhere around the back of that leg, so on the back of the thigh maybe. If you do have a strap, if you want to hook it underneath the sole of that left foot now, and take the leg up towards the ceiling. So when we're doing these stretches with the strap, it will depend very much on how long your strap or your belt is. But if you can get your elbows down onto the floor and keep them tucked in nice and close towards your ribs, then that will just mean that you're only pulling with your forearms, and that your shoulders and your upper arms will be relaxed, which is what we want. So allow the strap to take the weight of the leg, so we can focus on straightening and strengthening the back of that leg. We can focus on pushing the heel up towards the ceiling and drawing the toes down towards us. And that's the big stretch that you want. So allow yourself to feel that stretch, feel that lengthening down the hamstring at the back of the leg. And we hold it for a few breaths. So just trying to keep that leg as straight as you can. Maybe after a couple of breaths, you might feel that you can just gently pull into that strap, drawing those feet a little bit closer towards you. But remember to keep the leg straight. That's the most important thing. If that leg starts to bend, then take it back, straighten it out once more. If the leg starts to shake, release a little bit on the strap. And just hold it where it's comfortable. Now, you've got the option here, if you want to take it, just to place the strap in the left hand, bringing the right hand down to the floor. And we can open that hip out to the side by taking that left leg out to the side. So my leg's not going to go that far out before it hits the shutters. But if you've got some space around you, you can allow that leg to fall open, opening that hip to wherever it feels comfortable. So using the strap to keep that support there. And then gently bringing it back up. Take hold of the strap in both hands once again. And then if you want to straighten out the opposite leg, that's also an option, but see how it feels. If it feels too intense in the hip or the hamstring, then you can always keep that bend in that opposite leg. But immediately you'll notice that it becomes a much greater stretch down the back of that left hamstring. So again, we'll hold it for a couple more breaths, giving that leg a little bit of time to adjust. And then carefully release the strap, but keep that foot where it is. Hands down to the floor, point those toes up towards the ceiling, and then bring that leg down to the floor, drawing a line in the air with that big toe, making that leg as long as you possibly can. Really slowly, 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 all the way down. Lovely, seeing how long it feels in comparison to the other leg. And then we're going to carefully bend both of those legs once again. So slide the feet in towards you once more so that we're ready to do our hamstring stretches on the right leg. So this time, bend that right knee in towards your chest and take the strap underneath the sole of the right foot if you have one. If not, hold on around the back of that right thigh. And we'll just do exactly the same on this side, giving the leg plenty of time to lengthen, to release. Making sure that you're holding as little tension in the arms as you can. Drawing the toes down towards you, kicking that heel up and making sure that you've got that leg nice and straight. Doesn't matter whereabouts the leg is as long as it's straight. And only once you've got that leg straight, then the goal is trying to bring that leg a little bit higher up. Bringing those toes a little bit closer towards you. You might want to use this time now to come back to your Ujjayi breath from the start of the class. It's a great breath to keep us focused, so it will stop your mind from wandering, as it often will do as we approach the end of the class. Deep breaths in through the nose and exhale through the nose, making that hissing sound in your ears. Maybe thinking now, if you want to do that little hip opener, to take the strap into the right hand, relax the left hand down, and gently allow that leg to open out to the side. So just taking it out to wherever feels comfortable. Remember that strap is there for support, and the strap is also really important in helping to bring the leg back up. So if you're not using a strap, just be extra careful when you bring that leg back up. You might want to bend it first. So when you're ready, start to bring that leg back up. Taking hold of the strap with both hands once again. And then your option is there to straighten the opposite leg out if you want to, if it feels okay. Holding to enjoy the stretch for a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, release that strap. Keep that leg up there. Point the toes and slowly lower that leg down. Nice and slow. All the way down to the floor. Inhale to float your arms up and over your head. Take a lovely big stretch here. And now flex the feet, kick through those heels. Lengthen all the way through the back of your body. And then soften and release. Float the arms back down by your sides. And take a moment now just to get yourself comfortable as we move into our final resting pose of Shavasana. So you may want to continue lying on your back with your legs straight. You might want to take a bit of a bend in those legs, or you might want to roll over onto one side. However you feel most comfortable and most relaxed. And then close your eyes or soften your gaze. And allow yourself to slow down once more, coming back to the breath. Maybe taking one or two more Ujjayi breaths, filtering and slowing down that breath. And then let yourself breathe naturally. Give the breath back to the body. Let the body breathe all by itself. You don't need to worry about it now. And instead bring your focus into your physical body, allowing everything to soften and to relax. Relaxing your eyes and your forehead. Relaxing your cheeks and your jaw. Relaxing your neck and the back of your head. Soften through your shoulders. Feel them sinking down away from your ears. Relax your upper arms, your forearms, your wrists and your hands. Relax your chest and your belly. Feel the relaxation travel down your spine, relaxing your upper back, your middle back and your lower back. Relax your hips. And relax all the way down those legs that have worked so hard today. Allowing those thighs to soften. Allowing those shins to soften. Relaxing the hamstrings. Relaxing the calves. Relaxing your ankles and all of the muscles in your feet. Letting yourself completely relax. And then gradually beginning to bring that awareness back into the body once more. Beginning to wriggle your fingers and toes. Start to take some deeper breaths. Bring the intention back into your breathing once again. And then when you're ready, and in your own time, roll yourself over onto one side and slowly bring yourself up into a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall and straight. And we'll finish to inhale and take arms up and over our head. And exhale those palms down and together. Tucking your chin to your chest. Bow down to honour your practice and that of everyone who's joined us here this morning. Namaste everyone. Thanks again for joining me. So next week will be our final Saturday morning class. So I'm going to put a little little survey, a little poll up on the group a bit later, just to see what you would like to focus on for that final session. So I'll give a few options and then I'll go with whatever is most popular. So keep an eye on the group later, and cast your vote for what you want me to cover in our final session next week. So have a lovely weekend, guys, and I will see you on Friday for some float away, and then again next Saturday for our final ever beginners yoga. So take care, and I'll see you soon.